I'm going to walk through a deal I'm working on right now that I'm offering for seller financing. I'm going to try to talk about why I would do this, why would someone want to buy this way, what are the pros and cons for each of us in this specific scenario. So, this is a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, nice neighborhood rental property that needs some money to put into it. It's not quite rent ready. And so I'm my sale price is market value, but I wouldn't normally sell it for that price. I'm offering it for market value even though it's not rent ready because I'm offering terms to someone. So they don't have to use a bank, which if you've done a loan, you know how painful that is. And I'm also going to show you what other benefits I'm offering for this property. So I'm offering a low down payment, so 10% instead of 20%, which for most is 20% is kind of hard to get. Then, so here's our base loan amount, would end up being 180,000. Okay. Now, I'm offering an interest rate on this loan to the person I'm selling to. So I'm both the seller in this case, I'm also the lender to them to buy this house. And 8% is a little higher probably. It's probably about a quarter of a point higher. So I have my loans right now from banks are about 7.75. So this is higher, but very much. So I'm getting a little bit of a spread here, but not, it's, it's a reasonable rate, I would say, for these days. And then what I'm going to offer, this is a bit unusual, but what I'm going to offer is I would like the investor to be able to cash flow on this property if possible. Now, I don't want to lose money in that scenario, but I think we can work it out where while the rents are about it would be between 15 and $1,600 on this property. So, and then of course, usually that goes up over time. So one of the benefits of buying from somebody who's a person is figuring out what is the payment that will work for them and for the person buying. So you try to figure out what's going to work, what's going to give both a good chance of success here. So $1,000 a month payment at 8% is a good number for cash flow, or at the very least, it's even hard these days to break even on a property. Often your expenses are higher than what the income is given the prices of properties and interest rates and rents not increasing proportionately. So that's the upside. The downside is this is gonna be if this went on with this particular payment over time, the loan would keep getting larger because they're not paying it down. So what this person would probably want to do is eventually, when rents go up, start making a payment that puts the loan in a position of going down over time, or refinancing. If interest rates go down, then they have the option of refinancing, and if properties have gone up, then they can take cash out of this as well. But in the meantime, this gives them an opportunity to buy for for relatively little money and cash flow. So that's the benefit. Because as I mentioned, this doesn't pay down the loan. So there would be a balloon at the end of this, and it would get larger over time. So what that balloon would be would depend on where the loan is in the cycle of that loan. So if it's 3 years in or 5 years in, it's going to be less. If it's 6 years in, it continues to increase with time. I'm proposing three different options here for payments, depending on where the investor is. It might be that cash flows a little less important to them. Like ma- they may have a job that gives them cash flow and they want to buy a property. They don't have a ton of down payment, but cash flow isn't something that they're super concerned about. So in that case, I would propose a $1,200 a month payment, same other terms, $180,000 loan, 8%. And instead of $1,000 a month, we're talking about $1,200 a month, which gives them less cash flow, but will be better at paying down that loan. And then there's a third option, which is the highest payment. And this one actually will immediately start to pay down that loan. There probably won't be cash flow in this. In fact, taxes and insurance, it definitely won't be cash flowing, but I just wanted to show this as one of the options. And what one could do as an investor is take this option and when it made sense, make this payment. I, as a lender, allow that. So if you are buying something in this position, see if you can get that flexibility so that if you need cash flow, you can make the lowest payment possible. But if you have cash, you can pay down that loan so that it doesn't continue to accumulate. And then also gives you the ability to raise, when it makes sense, raise a rent and make that payment to the loan. And over time, the benefit to the buyer is then they have the appreciation over time of the property. They have the appreciation of the rents as they go up, and they have less money into this deal. So 10% instead of 20%, they're going to get their money back much more quickly than if they bought cash or they bought from a regular bank. And over time, they will have a nice cash flowing asset that they can borrow against and refinance when it makes sense for them. So there's a ton of flexibility here, a little more, like I said, a little bit more cost. But if it makes sense for an investor to buy this way, then this is often, if you can find these kind of deals, then it offers a ton of flexibility over bank financing.